Easy English Podcast. Relax and learn slowly.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Easy English Podcast. I'm Sarah, and I'm so happy you're here with me today. Today, I want to talk about a snowy day in New York. Do you like snow? I think snow is beautiful. It makes everything look peaceful. In this episode, I will share my day with you. We'll start from the morning when I saw snow outside. Then I'll tell you about my breakfast, a walk in the snow, and how I relaxed at home. Don't worry if you're learning English. I will speak slowly and use simple words. Just relax and listen. So, are you ready? Let's begin our story about a snowy day together. Chapter 1: Waking Up to Snow. This morning was different. I woke up around 7 o'clock, but something felt strange today. The room was brighter than usual. I stayed in bed for a few minutes. My bed was so warm. Outside, everything was very quiet. Too quiet. New York is usually noisy, but today there was almost no sound. I became curious. I walked to my window and pulled back the curtain, and there it was, snow. Everything was covered in white snow. The cars on the street were like big white lumps. The trees had snow on all their branches. It was so beautiful. I stood there just looking. The snow was still falling. Small snowflakes were dancing in the air. I smiled. I love snow days. I checked my phone. The temperature was 28 degrees Fahrenheit. Very cold. The weather app said it would snow all morning. Perfect. I had no plans today. I decided to start my day. I went to my bathroom and washed my face. The cold water woke me up completely. I put on my warmest pajamas and fuzzy socks. I walked to my kitchen. I looked out the window. The snow looked even more beautiful from here. I could see people walking on the street below. One person was walking a small dog. The dog was jumping in the snow. I turned on my coffee maker. I'm not a big coffee drinker, but on cold days, I like a warm cup. I decided to make French toast for breakfast. Do you know French toast? It's bread dipped in egg and milk, then cooked in a pan. I cracked 2 eggs into a bowl. I added milk, sugar, and cinnamon. Cinnamon smells wonderful on cold days. I mixed everything together. I dipped bread slices in the mixture. Then I heated my pan and added butter. The butter started to sizzle. I placed the bread in the pan. The smell was amazing. After a few minutes, I flipped the bread over. Golden brown, perfect. I put it on a plate and drizzled honey on top. I took my plate and coffee to my dining table by the window. This is my favorite spot. I can look outside while I eat. I took my first bite. It was so good. Warm, sweet, and soft. I ate slowly, watching the snow fall. I finished breakfast and washed my dishes. I always wash dishes right away. Now I wondered, what should I do next? I looked outside. The snow looked inviting. I decided to go for a walk. Chapter 2: Preparing for a snowy walk. I went to my closet. I needed my warmest clothes. I put on a long-sleeved shirt, then my jeans, but that wasn't enough. I put on thermal leggings under my jeans. Next, I chose my burgundy sweater. My grandmother gave it to me. Then I put on my winter coat. It's long and puffy. I needed my hat, scarf, and gloves. I found my cream-colored hat with a pom-pom. I put it on and pulled it over my ears. I wrapped my gray scarf around my neck twice. It covered my chin and part of my face. Now for gloves. I found one black glove, but where was the other? Why do gloves always get separated? I looked everywhere. Finally, I found it in my coat pocket. I needed boots. My brown boots have good soles that help me not slip on ice. I pulled them on. They felt comfortable and sturdy. I grabbed my phone and keys. I also decided to bring my camera. I put it in my pocket. I looked in the mirror. I looked like a snowman, but warmth was more important than fashion today. I opened my door. Cold air rushed in. I stepped out and locked the door. I walked down the stairs carefully, holding the railing. I reached the front door. Through the glass, I could see the snowy street. This was it. I pushed open the door. Cold air hit my face. I stepped outside onto the snowy steps. The snow crunched under my boots. I love that sound. I started walking. My street was quiet. Not many people were out. I passed my favorite coffee shop. It was closed. A sign said closed due to weather. I saw a man shoveling snow. "Good morning," he called out. "Good morning," I replied. "That's a lot of snow." "Yes, it is," he laughed, "but someone has to do it." "Good luck," I said. "You stay warm," he replied. That was nice. I kept walking toward the park. Chapter 3: Walking in the Snow. I entered the park. The path was covered in snow. I was the first person here. No footprints anywhere, just pure white snow. I walked slowly, looking at everything. The playground swings were covered in snow. They looked like they were wearing little hats. I brushed snow off a bench and sat down. I just sat there watching and listening. The snow kept falling. It was so peaceful. I heard a bird singing, tweet, tweet. I looked up and saw a small sparrow in a tree. It looked cold, but it was singing anyway. That made me smile. I sat for about 10 minutes. My face was getting very cold. Time to move. I stood up and walked around the park. It took about 15 minutes. I could see my footprints from before, a complete loop. I felt good. My body was warm from walking. I decided to head home. I had been outside for 30 minutes. That was enough. I left the park and walked back. I took a different street with small shops. All were closed today. I stopped in front of a bookstore. One book in the window showed a beach. A beach? That seemed so far from this snowy day. I laughed. My fingers were getting cold. I put my hands in my pockets. I was almost home, just 2 more blocks. Finally, I reached my building. I climbed the steps carefully and pulled open the door. Warmth. The hallway felt so warm. I stood there enjoying it. I climbed back up to my apartment. I unlocked the door with stiff fingers. Home. I took off my wet gloves, scarf, and hat, then my coat and boots. My jeans were wet at the bottom. I needed to change. I put on dry sweatpants and fresh socks. Much better. I wiped up the water on the floor. I was still cold. I needed something warm. Chapter 4: Warming up at home. I went to my kitchen. I decided to make hot chocolate. I took out my mix and my favorite mug. I added 3 spoonfuls of powder. Extra chocolatey. I heated water in my kettle. Soon it was ready. I poured it in and stirred. I added mini marshmallows on top. I took my drink to the couch. I wrapped my soft blanket around me. Now I felt cozy. I took a sip, perfect, sweet and warm. It warmed me from inside. I looked outside. Snow was still falling, but I was warm inside. That felt special. I finished my hot chocolate. I checked the time, almost noon. I was hungry again. I made tomato soup and half a sandwich. Simple and easy. I took it to the couch and ate slowly. After eating, I felt sleepy. I had been up since 7. I had walked in the cold. I was tired. I decided to nap. It was Saturday. No plans, why not? I lay down on my couch, wrapped in my blanket. I closed my eyes and drifted off to sleep. I woke up slowly. I looked at my phone. 3:30, I had slept 3 hours. I sat up and looked outside. The snow had stopped. The sky was clearing. I could see blue sky. Everything looked beautiful. The snow sparkled in the afternoon light. I saw more people outside now, some walking dogs, children making snowmen. One kid was making a snow angel. I remembered my camera. I never used it. I forgot to take photos. But that was okay. I had the memories. I decided to write in my journal. I got my notebook and pen. I wrote about my day, waking up to snow, making French toast. My walk, the sparrow, coming home. Writing made me relive the day. I wrote for 30 minutes. 3 pages. I felt satisfied. I looked outside. The sun was setting. The sky turned pink and orange. The snow reflected the colors. Beautiful. Chapter 5, Evening Reflections. I watched the sunset. The sky changed colors. It was like nature's art show. As it got darker, lights turned on in buildings. Windows glowed yellow. I imagined all the people in those apartments. Living in a city is interesting. You're near people, but you don't know them. Each window is a different life. My stomach rumbled. Time for dinner. I looked in my refrigerator. I had pasta and vegetables. I boiled water and cut up vegetables, zucchini, tomato, and garlic. I heated oil and added the garlic. It smelled wonderful. I added vegetables and cooked them. Then I added the cooked pasta. I mixed everything. I put my pasta in a bowl with Parmesan cheese. I took it to the couch. I turned on the TV, a documentary about penguins. On my snowy day, I was watching more snow and ice, but I liked it. The penguins were cute. My pasta was delicious. Simple food is often the best. I finished and washed my dish. Outside, it was dark. Night had arrived. I thought about my day. It was a good day. A simple day. I didn't do anything extraordinary. I just lived. Sometimes the best days are simple ones. Days when everything feels right. Today was one of those days. I felt grateful. Grateful for my warm home. Grateful for food. Grateful for hot chocolate and blankets. Grateful for snow and sunsets. Life doesn't have to be exciting all the time. Peaceful, quiet days matter too. I yawned. I was tired. Only 8 o'clock, but that's okay. I brushed my teeth and changed into pajamas. I got into bed. The sheets were cool but warmed up quickly. I thought about tomorrow. The snow would still be there. Maybe I'd go out again. Maybe I'd stay in. I'd decide tomorrow. For now, I was in my warm bed at the end of a good day. I closed my eyes. I felt peaceful. I felt content. Good night. Thank you so much for listening to my story today. I hope you enjoyed this snowy day with me. It was a simple story, just a regular person experiencing a snowy day. But I think there's beauty in simple moments. I hope this helped you practice your English. Remember, you don't need to understand every word. Just listening helps you improve. I hope this story gave you a moment of peace. That's what I want this podcast to be, a peaceful place to practice English. Thank you for being here. I'll be back soon with another story. Take care. Stay warm. Keep practicing your English. This is Sarah from Easy English Podcast. See you next time. Goodbye.